Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
And I'm Brian Mix.
There you go, everybody.
Brian's back.
Happy to be back.
Multi-coast podcast today, and we're going to talk about Discovery. Season 3 finished up this last week, I guess.
Yeah, this past week.
And we will discuss it. There may be tears. No, I don't know. We'll see.
There may be dissension amongst the Joes.
There could be some four-letter words.
I don't think anyone cares that much. So we're going to talk about that, and we'll do some other stuff. And hey, still wear a mask. It's bad out there. Still bad. Don't be an asshole. Just a note.
Don't be like a Republican member of Congress locked in a room with a bunch of other people and not wear your mask. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, it's bad out there, but let's keep this a relatively safe zone. But
I think we just spent the last hour talking about politics.
Just about everything. So
it is entirely possible.
Yeah. So let's go some random. Brian, you're our guest, and I hate to even use the word guest because you're more like a co-host. What do you got?
I have on the Star Trek trope here. They have pushed Picard back to starting February 1st, which now Picard, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and Star Trek Discovery are all shooting simultaneously in February.
Oh, all shooting.
All three are shooting in February.
Because they all shoot in California, which is sort of still on a little bit of a delay.
Apparently, Picard's going to shoot in Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I had this picture in my head.
Jerry Ryan is, and Jerry Ryan is the one reporting this, so obviously she's going to be in season of Picard. Yeah.
I had this picture in my head of like there being a queue at Vasquez Rocks, and just like everyone standing around. It's like, okay, it's your turn. You do your scene now.
We gotta go. We haven't been there. I'm sure, Brian, you go. You've been, right?
It's an hour from my house.
Ugh.
Okay, we need a picture of all four of us there. That has to be one of our post-COVID goals. So
it needs to be like a regular Joe's Christmas card photo.
We
easily done. And the best electronic surplus store on the planet is 30 minutes from there, 20 minutes from there. Yeah.
Ooh, even better. That's a trip in of itself. Okay.
This is a road trip. I'm smelling a road trip. Post-COVID road trip.
Yep.
After we get off the plane, I'm not driving to California if we don't.
No, of course not.
We may not be planes anymore. We don't know.
We'd kill each other by the time we got, to Nevada.
Can you imagine? Oh my god.
But we've
never driven more than like 3 hours, have we?
I've driven together.
I'm saying with each other.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
a couple hours to an airport is probably the most we've ever done.
Yeah, or to Rhode Island or through Dallas.
That's true. No, that's true. You and I have been in the car for a few hours going to Rhode Island together.
We're fine. Todd's the problem. Yeah. When we drove,
wait a minute. I have driven, Dave. I have driven to your house. We've driven to the airport. We've flown somewhere, spent 3 days together, flown back, and then I've driven. So we probably.
Oh, it's just the car thing. No, we spend plenty of time together.
Yeah,
we've slept in one room many a night.
Yeah.
We're not doing that anymore if we ever get back. Anyway, enough of that. Todd, what do you got?
Okay, so Deadpool 3 will be set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is going to be an R-rated film. They have
Disney.
Yeah. So
interesting.
That will be interesting.
Well, I think their retread of doing a kiddie version, so they got 2 passes at the theater, was a great idea. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that again.
Yeah. So it's Ryan Reynolds posted a tweet in which he said that now that it's official, he's got his first mission. It's to go after the guy who shot Bambi's mom.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
What time period though would that be in the Marvel?
See, that is the thing. That's going to be really, really interesting because are they going to? Yeah, be interesting how they fit it in there. I kind of like the idea of like the first one in the MCU, putting him in the background, do like they did in the last Avengers film, but have like him in the background, like going by in a cab while they're fighting in New York, stuff like that. And then just all these different things. Like he's been there the whole time. He just really didn't.
I mean, because the big question is how do you deal with the snap?
Yeah.
In Deadpool.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
And X-Men for that matter. If they ever come
or
back.
maybe during the 5 years, that's when those two movies happened. Who knows?
That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Yeah, that would actually potentially be a way out
Yeah.
of that whole
a lot
thing.
happened in those 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
Interesting.
X-Men is going to be interesting how they do this, because either though the X-Men operated in secret in the original incarnation for quite a while. And it wasn't like openly known that they're mutants and stuff like that. So they could go that route and have them be like kind of under the radar, having been out there and, and then get exposed.
All this crap went on a 45-minute train ride away from Professor X's house, and they didn't go help.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So,
Barry, what do you got?
Well, this definitely falls into the category of nobody gives a crap but me. But John Chu is stepping away from directing the Willow TV series for Disney Plus, but not because he's embarrassed.
I had a conversation with him.
But it's because apparently the shifting production schedule is going to conflict with when his wife's having a baby, and he just doesn't want to commit that way. So they haven't said who's taking his place, but
so he doesn't want to do that in a hut.
I guess not. I guess not. But he did say that he's very excited. Well, apparently he's a big. Well, again, they say all the right things when they're in the press, but he says he's a big fan of the movie from when he was a kid, and that he's obviously seen the scripts, and he's very excited for what they have planned. So,
well, since he's the only other one, they're probably going to call you to direct it now.
Yeah.
There's only two of you.
I'm looking at Geek Tyrant right now. It says Barry K. tapped.
The only other person who had fond memories from when he was a in quote
kid.
you know what I was actually thinking, which she's got some experience now directing action and everything. I wonder if Bryce Howard would be a good director.
That would be
series.
fun, huh?
I think she's too good for that. I just watched Jurassic World while I was doing something, and I think Barry and I are the only ones that are on that wavelength of there's something about her for sure, right?
Oh, I love her. Yeah.
Todd doesn't get it.
I don't disagree, but it's just
She's not British. That's why Todd doesn't get it.
Okay, that only brings you to near the top of the list. There's got to be other things too.
I did also watch today a Karen Gillan Vogue thing where they go to her house and they went through all her collectibles. She's got all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Like she's got every action figure of herself. She's got stuff.
She's done like a photo shoot with like all the figures lined up and stuff. And they said, "Oh, is this all of them?" And she said, "Well, I've also got one of each in package."
Yeah.
And the fact that she used the phrase
love her even
"in
more.
package," I was like, "Oh yeah, yep."
We love her even more.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's great.
She was on our show for a split second, but she was on our show.
she was.
Smelled good too, right?
It was a drive-by.
Hey Barry, I love those replays, by the way, of all the interviews, because I had not heard many of them. And that was great.
Yeah, it was fun putting it all together. I got to revisit a lot of it some of it I hadn't heard in 5 or 6 years. So,
and yes, you guys evolved quite a bit as interviewers.
I haven't listened to it.
Yeah. Just listen to the first couple, and it's crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's amazing on the space of just 5 years we can learn to complete sentences. It's just
it's what they say about the 10,000 hours. I feel like we've been doing it for about that long at this point.
Yep.
So.
Exactly.
Well,
there was an interview with Kevin Feige in, I think it was one of those Dateline, something. I don't know what it's called. So I thought this was interesting. He was talking a lot about WandaVision, which comes out the day you're listening to this. If you listen to it when we came out, he said he called it a black and white sitcom, which I thought was interesting. And he got into a little more detail than he probably should have been in an interview, so I won't say anything else. But a couple other interesting tidbits. He said, Black Panther 2, they will not recast what you heard, and they will not CGI Chadwick Boseman. So they've got something else up their sleeve, which I don't exactly know what that is.
I'm seeing they kind of walked back from will not, because immediately people ran with will not recast Black Panther. And now it's will not recast T'Challa. So
Oh,
So
that's true. Yeah.
I think there will be a
Yes.
Black
Yeah.
Panther.
That's T'Challa's the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not going to CG him. And then not that it's newsworthy, but there is no plans to put any Marvel movies on Disney Plus.
They keep saying that. And they're holding to that. But
yeah,
I mean, there was a Variety report out today where they're questioning, the next wave of movie releases are coming up quick, and they're starting to question whether they're, going to have to push all these things back again, because it's just not looking like movie theaters are going to be open until
they're not going to be open.
Summer at earliest.
They pushed James Bond back again from April to October, I think.
The one I care about the most right now is Black Widow, and this was actually a question I was going to ask you guys on the show tonight. I'd like to hear from each of you. Like, what would you prefer at this point? Would you pay money to watch it at home, or are you really holding out because you want to see it in the theater? I just want to see this damn movie already.
I don't know.
I will accept that as a sign that things are returning to normal. There's a whole lot of other things that I can watch on TV, and I know it means the cycle's being put off, but they're still working on things. I think.
Yeah. I feel like I'll be hesitant to go to the movies, though. That's what I'm worried about. Let's say everyone got the vaccine. Like, you gonna run to the movies? I don't.
No, I
it could be another year.
At this point, I would pay $30, whatever it is, and I'd watch it at home. And I would be okay with that. I was holding out. I was a holdout on this one too. I was all about wanting to wait to see it in the theater. But I'm with you. Like, if it means waiting another 9 months or 12 months from now, like, I don't know.
Here's the thing. I know that if it's $30 the first week, 4 months from now, it's going to be free. Same viewing experience at home. Why not wait 4 months? Some movies you can't not wait for.
That one I would pay for.
My answer to that, Brian, would be the same thing as I pay for a monthly Spotify subscription, but I still buy CDs from the bands that I really like to support them, and I would do the same. This is just me.
Problem.
I know I have a problem, but I don't go to sports events. I don't pay $150 a ticket for sport events, but I support the bands I like. I go see them live when I can. I buy their music, and I would pay to watch the movie. I'd pay $50 to watch it.
Yeah, Todd and I buy the hardcover books when we listen to them on Audible.
Yeah, yep.
I couldn't wait for Wonder Woman 84 to come out. Watched it on the big screen at home, and it was fine.
Except for the movie.
Except for the movie.
The experience was good.
Okay, so
Everything about it was fine except for the
The
movie.
experience was fine.
Did that diminish your disappointment a little bit? The fact that you didn't go to a theater and risk your life to see it?
No. And well, they're telling us in Orange County, California here that it's 100% vaccine July 4th, right? So it's not that far to wait.
I've said we're sort of not only for this, but this is one of the reasons we're putting in a big screen downstairs. I mean, so I'd pay for it. If a Black Widow came out, I would definitely pay for it opening day. I wouldn't wait.
It doesn't mean I don't want to ever go back to the movies. It's just
me too.
I
want to feel comfortable though.
Okay, I will say I will admit that part of my position is until this movie's over, I can't really accept that she's dead. So if it's August, September, maybe October, okay, it's just, yeah. No.
I'm actually feeling better about the fact that I didn't pay all that money to go see Wonder Woman in a movie theater.
Oh, no question there.
I was looking today. Wonder Woman's been in the theater also 3 weeks. It's made $36 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
I don't know. I think that whole move almost proved that that's not really a viable thing for movie companies. It's just not.
I agree.
That had a potential to make $1 billion. Well,
it wouldn't have.
It probably would have made 600 or 700 million.
Probably.
The other one had a very long did good money, but had a very long, slow ramp to make it. And this would not have been sustained that way.
No legs on this movie.
It didn't have the word of mouth. I mean, the first one.
This would have started slow and just tapered off. And this would have
Yeah.
been a theatrical
But
disappointment.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but I think had none of this happened, and this movie came out when it was supposed to, it would have made 600 million, 700 million.
The last one was, I can remember. I think I told you guys the story. I went to see it a second time, and there was a couple there with a little girl in a Wonder Woman T-shirt. Okay, and she had a tiara on, and I said, "Oh, is this your first time seeing the movie?" And she said, "No, we go every weekend."
The first one made 822 million.
Yeah.
So this one would have
and
done
that's what I'm saying.
less
And
than that,
it was, but it was very slow. It was very slow.
Yeah,
getting
it
much
may have
slower
been.
than,
I think people were tentative, but yeah, I'm with you, Barry. I think it would have made good money, but not
right.
amazing money. But anyway, any other random?
I've got one other thing I wanted to mention, especially since we've got Brian on the show. I had sent you guys a picture. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. And this is a company that we had seen at New York Comic Con, I feel like 3 or 4 years ago. And the stuff that we saw is finally starting to come out, which is crazy. But a company called Executive Replicas is making 1/6 scale 2001 spacesuits and a 2001 Metropolis robot.
They also made, that's the company that made the Vampirella figure that Daryl and I both have.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job with it.
And they are somehow connected with Thyssen, which is the company that makes those
that's
armature bodies.
That's who's supplying the bodies. And
Who made the original 2001?
I don't think the original ones were licensed. I think the original ones were like
true. They went for a lot of
garage
money.
kit thing.
Yeah,
I've got. Oh,
you have one, don't you? I thought you said you had
two.
one.
I have two. I have the red one and the yellow one.
Yeah.
When you guys are talking about something else, I'll run down and get to grab the yellow one. It's still in the box, so we can see who made it. But so they're making the suits, but not the figures in the suits. That's how they're getting around.
They're making the suits that you can put on a figure, but
Oh.
they're not actually coming with figures. I'm texting you guys the pictures of.
I'm guessing that is
suits.
a legal issue for licensing. Someone licensed the
probably
astronaut.
likenesses.
They did not license the suit. Yeah.
But they look amazing. The price they're a little pricey. I think that the suits are in the $300 to $350 range, and I think the Metropolis one that does come with a figure is I think $400. But
that's cool looking. That Dave, the Metropolis one makes me think of our dude in the Godzilla suit.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally made me think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't send you the other. There's another picture of the female figure fully dressed in the armor on that base, and it looks awesome.
Yeah,
all this stuff looks really good, but that's pricey for what it is.
Well, I just found my wife's birthday present.
Yeah,
she made a Metropolis costume.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, for a Worldcon. In 1984 Los Angeles Worldcon, she made a Maria.
Oh wow,
Metropolis robot costume. Yeah,
now that's not the one that's in your living room, or that is that one?
That is not the one that's in my living room.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think I want that. It's
yeah. So I had originally sent it to you, Todd, because I think I said you needed this on your robot shelf. But
yeah, I've got a pretty puny 3.5 inch tall Maria figure. I need a better one. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
you know who's also cool? Fanboy Collectibles. Everything you need. Bunch of cool statues: Nightwing, Hawkgirl, Kotobukiya, Cyclops, and Pops, and Hot Toys, and Sideshow. All kinds of stuff, and anything you need, and
every version of Baby Yoda you could possibly wish for and more.
You need all that stuff. Check those guys out. Fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. They're getting stuff in every day, and tell them the Regular Joe sent you. Thank you, Fanboy. Okay, so Discovery had its what? How many episodes were there?
Third season.
Third season. I think there were 13 episodes, right?
13 episodes. I don't know.
Are we talking about the whole season, or are we talking about the final arc, the finale?
I think talk about the whole season as a whole to begin with.
Yeah, we don't got to go crazy.
Okay.
You seem to like it the least from the impression I'm getting. I didn't think it was great.
Oh,
I didn't think it was horrible.
I think Brian's queued up for that. But
yeah, I'm struggling to find a good point.
I tried to make my list of positives and negatives, and this is primarily around sort of the last few episodes. And I really struggled to put anything in the positive column, to be honest with you. I think the thing that I will say is I really love that they swung for the fences from the sense of scale. This had an epic scale to it, from my opinion.
I would say that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, so it just, and I've said this all the way through this season, it just doesn't feel like Star Trek to me. It feels like a really well-made science fiction show that doesn't resemble Star Trek enough for me. And then when it does,
Star Trek doesn't have a magic door.
But it feels like when they're trying to make it feel like Star Trek, like in that last, when they got to the dilithium planet and they all beamed down to the hologram projection and everybody's appearance changed and they made one a Bajoran and they made one a Trill, and it was just like, oh, we've got these tropes of Star Trek aliens, let's make them look like those. But
if that hadn't gone on for what felt like 3 episodes, I would have been okay
Way
with it.
too long.
It was just like and the freaking Nog or whoever the guy
he looked just like Nog, didn't he?
Yeah, like, oh my god!
I think
like,
Doug Jones just had his contract. He only had to do 10 episodes in the makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and you know what? I almost could have been okay with the fact that because Doug Jones kind of earned it. Like, people should see his face. But
that was kind of interesting, but like that would dragged on so long and was so uninteresting.
Truly did.
I didn't have a problem with the showdown with the Orions. What I don't get is, why do the Orions look so weird? I thought they should be all like super good looking. They all were like, what's with all the appliances and stuff? I never got that.
Yeah.
Do you want? I was gonna wait.
It's been a rough 800 years. So,
but
you got
hold off on talking about Osira, but
Yvonne Craig, and you got Rachel Nichols.
Rachel Nichols, yeah.
Those are the 2 hot Orion girls, and then they got all these weird looking ones. They should have been like super hot, but maybe that goes against the.
Yeah, Dave, if someone looked at Vogue magazine and then landed in Central Park, they would go, "Where are all the pretty people the humans are? I don't understand."
Yeah, and that's I think that is probably more reflective of the Orion criminal culture. They tend to be,
or is it more reflective of a show that doesn't want to have any kind of sexuality that is.
This is the participation trophy version of Star Trek.
So if we're going to go there, okay, let's just say that, and this is my big issue with this season, and I'm gonna own this. Submit your letters and emails. I have never seen anyone try to shoehorn as much diversity in, and do it so obviously badly,
heavy-handed.
That it is like every episode comes with a checklist. The last episode where they had all the bridge crew members, okay, are standing around, and they like went around and everyone had one line, and it was like they're completing each other's sentences and everyone like has one line, and it's like, was that just like so you could say you actually gave each one of these people a line? Because it made no sense in the context of what they were doing. Here are people that we've seen for 3 seasons, and for the most part, we don't know their names because you've never centered an episode around any one of them. You've never given one of them a major subplot, okay? Because we don't give people a subplot unless we kill them, okay, or have them leave the show, okay? But it's great that they're there, and we can feel really good about that. And this is it. Just again, I just kind of feel like they're trying to own this thing, and I like commented in one of the texts, I called it the USS Diversity instead of Discovery, because it just really feels like this is
it's very heavy-handed.
Well, and that line in the finale about I see you, I really see you for who you are, or whatever it was like, oh my god, like.
Okay,
so grown-ups. I get that there were maybe some kids watching it, but for the most part, we're grown-ups watching this. Like, I know. Get it.
But 1,000 years in the future, a gay man has to have the concept of a non-binary person and pronouns explained to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like and in the absence of straight white men, does the gay white guy have to be the dumb one that has to have something explained to him? Because that's apparently
what's not diverse enough.
Well, back in the 60s, you had Gene Roddenberry, who was a womanizing pig who said, I'm going to put out a show that's beyond all that. Like we have gotten past all that.
I'm going to put as diverse a crew as I can get away with. I'm going to put women in positions of authority. Okay, when I show the second Doctor, he's going to be a black man. Okay, things like this that he did. Okay, but it didn't feel shoehorned in. He made it feel like this is the world, this is the future, this is the world that we live in.
Yeah.
And
if I were to describe in one sentence what Discovery is, I would say it's people in space talking about their feelings.
my God, yes,
Yeah.
it's exactly. And I liked the book character. I found him interesting. I found why was he there? Did any one of you bring your wives or girlfriends just to work with you and have them hang around? Because that's kind of what it felt like. Oh yeah, it's Burnham's boyfriend. He's here on the bridge again. It's just like, yeah, that's what you do.
But it would have also been nice if somebody other than Burnham could have solved a problem, or
Burnham is the Wesley Crusher of this show. I'm telling you, it's like she's the only one that figures anything out, despite it often being very obvious or making no sense whatsoever, but she still figures it out.
My wife says she has magical powers because no matter who she smiles at, that person caves.
Yeah.
In any situation, when she smiles at them, they cave.
What was the thing that she got pushed into in that final battle with Osira? She got
like
sucked
something
into
from
it.
an 80s science, 80s Tron type thing.
Yeah,
That's the data core, I think.
She gets sucked into it, and then she shoots her way out of it. Like,
that was very
ridiculous.
It was,
But they did Saru a disservice too. It's like, oh yeah, you can't be the captain because you got to watch after this freaking guy. Like, really?
Okay, so things I liked about this show. I've come up with one. The Trill character, although whiny, her past Trill person who got made animate in the
in the hollow
on the planet, the hollow planet.
Tub?
That was a cool idea.
I agree.
That they didn't do much with, but that was a really cool science fiction idea. I got to say that was really great. I like that. They had a few little things like that where they do a really cool little science fiction idea.
Watching this, I actually thought it would have been really cool if, like, in her alone moments, Jadzia Dax talked to her previous hosts. Okay, if they were stepped out of the shadows and talked to her,
yeah, that would have been cool.
And
of
it's
course,
like, wow,
course
this is and the idea. And I got to say, I kind of like the idea of a Trill person being a non-binary person, because frankly they are. That whole thing I think was fine. It was just, again, we just brought this new person in the show. They're strangely a 16-year-old genius, and
she's not wearing a sweater.
Yeah, and we're ignoring all these other cast members.
Yeah,
I really thought
that was a little weird.
They were going to do something with Detmer. But no,
Denver almost got to be somebody, and they pulled her back.
She almost got in her.
When she was having the headaches.
Moments were in the alternate universe.
Help me. Which one's Detmer?
The one with the thing on her head, like the implants.
Oh yeah, I love her character. She's
not implants the way we know of them, because they wouldn't have that on the show.
It's all in her head, Dave. So,
but she was getting the headaches and stuff, and they were starting to make something out of that.
There's the girl who's the navigator. I don't know her name. There's the dude who's the communications. They have characters that have sort of been putting their time in that could have been interesting.
3 seasons in, and we don't know any of these people's names.
If you think about it, even the your Sulus and your Chekhovs and your Huras all had kind of little subplotty things, or had prominent pieces enough in episodes where you got a sense of who they were. Okay, there's certain things, characteristics. We're 3 seasons in, and granted they're half as long, but you knew when you had, at the point that you had 45 episodes of the original series,
you knew who all those people were.
Okay, you knew those people. You knew their quirks. You knew, all these little different things about them. And
you can't remember anyone other than Detmer, because she has these mechanical implants, and she stands out a little. I don't know any of the other people's names.
No, I know Stamets.
Nilsson, I remember her name.
Stamets, because, but I'm saying the sort of the second, third level people.
And that's that's what I'm saying, because of the whole Aram.
I think they're trying to bring so many different people in that they're doing the people who were there a
It felt
unjust
like a new set of
treatment.
writers came in. They brought their own set of characters in. They wanted to play with these characters,
Yeah.
and they left the regular characters alone.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
so
absolutely right. That was the
next
thing
thing
about
is
you could probably, if you're sat down, name a dozen named characters on the original series. Here, like 3 or 4, and because it's like you're right, they switch writers and showrunners so often. Everyone brings in, okay, now we're bringing in this whatever this person's name is. I don't remember her name.
And most of these
either.
people get like a
Krill.
like one like shot of them nodding or saying "I" or whatever like that, and that's it. That's what they get for in an episode. The other thing, I just gotta. You're gonna pick someone to be second in command.
Oh God, here we go.
And you pass over every officer on your ship,
Every lieutenant commander, every
lieutenant
commander,
every
every
lieutenant
lieutenant.
commander, everyone who's okay in favor of someone who just made ensign. Okay, and again is this ridiculously smart, young 20-something, but still, it's like. You're putting all the lives and the most valuable ship in Starfleet in this person's hands.
And you don't even promote her. You don't even hang lieutenant
And you
stripes
don't
on
even
her.
promote. It's just like,
Yeah.
It's
that was a little.
it's kind of like, yeah.
Well, God
Yeah.
forbid they brought another character in, though. I mean, so, and I took that as well. It was about trust. He picked somebody he knew he could trust. But you're absolutely right. It makes no sense in a hierarchy of a military or of the
But
hierarchy.
had they
of even-
developed some of the other characters,
Okay, who should have gone in that chair? Burnham's out. Who should have gone in that chair?
we don't know.
I don't know
anyone
the
well
other
enough.
characters well enough.
Detmer.
Yeah.
It should have been
Detmer's a
Detmer.
pilot, though. They need her to fly the ship. Like half of those other people, who's the communications guy? He's like a lieutenant or something.
This is
Who's
what
the
I'm
Asian
saying.
dude, right?
And it's like, okay, so you got this person who's been very, very effective in engineering. Let's pull her out of engineering, and
because they
put her
had
in the duty
the
rotation.
Trill person.
The other thing, and I know we've talked about this from the very first season, but I realize that Discovery is a large ship. But what they did,
Oh no!
Oh my God!
how
I
they
was gonna
depict
say
the
that to the
insides of that ship
Okay, so
is insane.
That's ridiculous.
Inside
Yeah,
of
that
it-
was ridiculous.
inside, once you show the exterior, it's like.
Where is all that space?
It is very, very large, but it's not 300 decks.
The turbo
Okay.
shaft space was bigger than the space they have to walk around in.
It is
Yeah.
bigger than the entire volume of the ship, and
Yes.
it's like.
And if Burnham had fallen the way she fell, she'd be dead. There's no way a human
Yeah.
could have survived that fall.
Oh, I assume turbo shaft are 0G, right?
I would think
Control
something
gravity.
Like
is that
yeah, it's
okay?
probably not.
Maybe, but
or very very low gravity. the turbo
she
shaft.
wasn't falling slowly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if she had fallen like the length of a nacelle or something, okay, but still, it's like the
Yeah.
volume just does not make sense.
Yeah.
And why
Um,
does a turbo elevator have a glass ceiling?
Yeah.
She
Yeah, I
broke
don't
through
know.
a glass
I
ceiling.
don't know. They started doing this last season. This exterior shot of the elevator moving through this huge void that apparently, for some reason, an elevator shaft needs to look like 30 times the size of a warehouse, but
And also well lit because that's important.
and well lit because that's
Well
important.
lit elevator shaft.
Well, that's what the glass ceilings are for, so you can see the insides of the shaft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're sort of just
I mean,
building
when I
stuff
was a
to be
kid,
cool.
I poured over every square inch of the Enterprise plans, okay, and there was no empty space anywhere in those
No.
ships.
Why would
That
you
was
build
ridiculous.
a ship that large with that much empty space in it? Makes no sense.
Okay,
Well,
so
actually, Barry, so I have a theory about this. It's actually constructed kind of like a Zeppelin. Okay. It's just like this little structure inside of this huge volume.
And why do
Okay.
you need elevators when you can just beam yourself everywhere?
Yeah.
They do a
Well-
lot of beaming inside the ship. Why
Yeah,
do you
that-
need
that-
elevators?
It feels like they made it like a TARDIS. Like it's bigger on the inside than it is on the
Oh my God,
Okay.
yes.
worse than the elevator shafts. Apparently, there are no spacesuits below deck 5. they're running out of air. Their ship is leaking, but there's not a single environmental suit
Oh yeah, that's a good
anywhere
point.
on the ship
Yep.
below deck 5. They're
Yeah.
passing this one little thing around. It's like, I swear I saw Burnham walk right past a evac suit when she got stabbed in the leg. It's like, just put on your
No,
spacesuit.
you're right. There was a suit right there when she got stabbed.
Yeah, it's like, put on your spacesuits.
All right. Well, while we're complaining, the other thing, when you eject a warp core, is it in such a big shaft that it can literally hit the sides of the
Bang,
shaft
clang,
as it's
bang,
falling
clang,
down?
Don't you think it should have a little WD-40 so it slides
I
easily?
would think
so
the
it doesn't
shaft
blow
would be
up in
to
the
the
ship?
exact size of the warp core so that it could shoot straight down.
Well, on the Enterprise D, it was literally a door open. It was space. It was
It was just like
Yeah, it fell right out, and it was.
you
in
got to
space.
eject the warp core.
There's
You
a
got to
lot
get
of
it the
the,
hell
this will
out.
look
okay.
cool.
Now bear in mind though, this ship was like 100 years before the Enterprise D. It took them nearly that whole time
It's like,
to figure out how to eject a warp
is
core
that
without
warp
it banging
core
the shit
like
out of the
making
ship.
sparks as it goes down the shaft?
Yeah,
a good
exactly.
idea?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing with that.
Okay, so
Oh.
now let's talk about the refit of the Discovery. Okay,
I hate the disconnected nacelle thing.
I don't
What?
even
So-
get that.
They did
like-
that just to set up the thing that happened at the end.
so
It
like
was-
you have a momentary power you have a power failure or something. Did they just drift off?
Yeah.
Because they appear to be like held in a magnetic field, right?
Yeah, it's magnetic.
So it's just like power's interrupted, and then you go find your nacelles once you restore power.
I didn't get that at all. There's a
Does it
lot.
make the ship faster? Like, what could the reason possibly be? Even if you have that technology, why do it to a ship that they're already connected on, unless it somehow makes it better? But it
I mean,
didn't.
they did things to either look what they thought was cool or solve problems,
Yeah.
and totally annoy everybody. Yet
Okay,
they're bringing all this touchy feely people.
I
in
will
this thing.
say, slightly in defense of that, is that there is no technology that we saw in here that we're going to have in 3 years. Okay. Next Generation is very dated and got very dated very, very quickly.
No, and look, they're going 900 years in the future. They
And
should
this is
be
what
some
I'm saying.
really
So, like,
futuristic stuff in there.
The programmable matter stuff, okay, with the control panels and then those vid displays and stuff like that. God, it'd be great if we had that in 3 to 5 years. But I don't think the stuff that they're using is going to look as dated as quickly as a lot of the other things that we've seen.
Yeah.
So
No, that's fair.
I think that was good there. It was just what they did with it was just weak. So let me ask you this: how did you feel about the Guardian of Forever?
I liked everything but the dude in the weird suit. I don't know what. It's like they couldn't figure out wardrobe. When he said Guardian of Forever, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Why not have this thing come back? But
It
I
gave me chills, even though it was
same here. And I think it's also something that different people perceive differently based on like what you're open to and kind of like this. And I think I'm fine with it being manifested differently than how I also think it was the perfect means. If they really want to do a Section 31 series, it was the perfect way to get her back in the past.
I was going to say that
without
that was a good way to get her
overwriting
back.
everything they had previously said about there's no more time travel and there's all that means is gone. Well, this thing is going to live forever. It's got to be somewhere. I thought that was great. I also thought it was really good that they didn't know where it was, that it was just, it's like this, it's almost like it's like the monoliths from 2001. It just kind of shows up and you just deal with it.
It was cool. That was a cool use of something from the past.
Yeah.
I just wish she had stepped through the door and they said goodbye at the beginning of that 2-episode part instead of at the end.
Yeah.
And we just skipped the whole negative universe nonsense.
Yeah, that was kind of didn't serve it.
Pointless.
It feels like
right?
every series has to have the mirror universe.
Well, they already did their mirror.
But they already had it.
But
That's true.
I think the whole point was so that they could actually demonstrate that she was a different person than she was when she never is going to become the Philippa Georgiou that, quite frankly, Burnham got killed.
Yeah.
But she is a person worthy of being the lead in her own series.
Yeah.
She's going to have made enough personal growth that, she's just not, not going to be the bad guy that's stuffed into this other series.
They missed an opportunity to have Lorca show up in that sequence too.
Oh, they totally did. Yeah, they totally did.
I was really bothered by the fact that they spent more time toasting the Destroyer of Worlds and Departed Murderer than they spent on Spock.
Yeah,
they spent so much time talking about it. I was like, she's an awful person. She was terrible.
She's absolutely
and you guys are toasting,
absolutely
you guys
deplorable
are toasting
person.
Adolf
But
Hitler.
this is the thing. It's like they just, she showed some modicum of humanity. Like she managed to run into Kelpian she didn't eat. Okay.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because of that, they're going with that. It's like the bar was set so low that
it's almost like the the whole thing is very socialistic. It's like you can't be too good or you can't be too bad.
It will. So, I got to say, I wonder whether they're trying to make this so that 5 years from now or 10 years from now, people can't look at this in any way and cringe, like certain episodes of any of the other series where you go back and you're like, oh,
well, if that's the way we're going to create shows now, then I don't need to watch now. Them.
My flip side to that is, there will be a series very, very soon that is going to have 3 white leads. And I'm wondering if sorry, I'm just a little chilly.
Jesus.
And I'm wondering if what they're trying to do is just shoehorn in everything that they need to justify that. So it's
but what? And maybe they are, but it's Star Trek by committee. It's too much. I mean,
very heavy-handed, and it is like they're doing that at the sake of story and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
If they make Discovery all about political correctness and they make the Pike show just good old-fashioned Star Trek, I'll take that trade-off.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's fine.
Yeah. I agree.
Just the whole concept that they've gone after with the show of arcing out the whole seasons, and I so miss the bottle episodes, or just the episode where it isn't about the bigger arc and they just go on a mission. Yeah. My biggest problem with this whole season, and believe it or not, I saved my biggest problem till this point. They had what I thought was an interesting MacGuffin here of. There was this thing called the burn, and we're going to spend this season trying to figure out what it was. And it was an angry child.
Yeah, I agree. That was a very
destruction of every ship in the fleet. Like, there was no payoff at all.
It was Trelane. Yeah, it was Trelane.
Yeah.
But Trelane worked in a single episode. This was like 13 episodes building towards that.
And it's also strange that it burns up every single bit of dilithium except the planet,
the one that it's living on.
Yeah.
Well, that made any sense.
It was like going outward.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, and it's a kid screaming. Like, come on.
And that was somehow powerful enough to anywhere in the galaxy to blow out all the dilithium in every ship.
There was a lot of characters mystically attached to other things throughout this show. Like Book can now fly the ship. Book, right? Book, did I say the right name?
I was wondering about this. The Dr. Doolittle powers weren't referenced at all, and I wondered what they were going to do with that. And then that was it.
Yeah,
it was and even at that point, we'd pretty much forgotten about it to the point where it was just.
And that was an awfully big risk to take. No, I think he can fly the ship. We're just going to flush the warp core, blow this thing to bits.
I know it was
it'll all work out.
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
Why do you have to? Yeah, it was
celestial navigation.
More of a risk than putting the 20-something in charge that has major self-confidence issues.
But at least there, you at least have the other crew members that should be able to do their job well enough that she's not completely the only thing saving everybody. But and Osira was just a crappy villain.
Yeah.
She could have been cooler, but it was just
totally could have. I thought the female Vulcan villain from last season was better. Or no, I'm thinking of Picard.
You are thinking of Picard.
No, you're right. I'm thinking of Picard.
Dave, do you remember
she was better
where we saw the Osira before? The actress.
Mm.
It was bugging the hell out of me. I had to look it up. She was Damien Dark's wife in the mayoral candidate who ran against Ollie Queen and Arrow.
Oh gosh,
That's a deep cut. Buddy.
No, but
I
I'm
don't-
saying we saw her in like 5 or 6 episodes, and she had a couple confrontations and stuff. But it's like I remember this woman talking. I just can't think of where, and she wasn't.
Oh, I
great.
didn't. She didn't ring a bell at all.
Yeah.
Well, my next comment about Osira is purely my opinion, not representing the opinions of the rest of the regular Joes. But if you're gonna put her in like a leather outfit like that, it was way too baggy to be like menacing, right? Like I would have
Wait a
looked
minute,
like
A bad 80s,
tight leather is
80s
menacing.
clubbing outfit.
It looked like a pleather 80s thing and not like a
did.
skin tight.
And the other thing is like
female villainous outfit.
in 1,000 years in the future, a zipper is still going to be that obvious because she clearly had a zipper with a zipper pull.
it
and it
looked
was
like they cast someone else and put her in the costume in the last minute.
Right.
Yeah.
She could
all
have
of those
been
elements made it feel like she was just not in any way
And a
that
bad
big of
guy
a
who
threat.
comes to the table to negotiate and gives away everything.
Yeah.
It's funny what they did with these Orions. They kind of started, didn't they start them out where they were like these like
Vicious.
much more like the original series people, and then they turned them into this sort of
It turned them into Ferengis. Yeah.
Ferengis. Exactly. That's what
Yeah,
they
that
were
is-
supposed
that is a
to
good
be
analogy.
Vicious, I thought.
Yeah.
be. Yeah. It was
I don't
crazy.
know. Clearly, I didn't love it.
I mean, it wasn't the worst thing. It was no
It's still
Batwoman.
Star Trek. I mean,
but-
like I'm not saying it was awful, but
It's
I
like
just-
Papa
I
John's
expect more.
pizza. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I just so much of Star Trek is going back and watching it again. I have no desire to go back
Yeah.
and watch any of this.
I've
agree.
not rewatched a
Brian,
single
you just-
episode of this.
You kind of nailed it. I don't know. There's last season episodes I would rewatch. The second
There
season
is?
episode, some of the Pike episodes.
Oh, It's
just
I'll even
like
go
a
back
box
and watch
check.
Enterprise episodes.
Yeah. I'm going to end this on a positive note. And I don't know if any of you watched far enough into the end credits to see this, but they actually use the original series
Yes,
music at the end. Yeah.
at the end.
that was
And I
kind
like,
of cool.
okay, I like that. And it made me go back because I never watched through the credits on. I don't know why I did on this one.
I
but-
had it on. I was doing something else.
Yeah, it made me go back to the previous episode to go, oh, did they do this on every episode? Maybe I'm just not aware, but
No.
they don't. I actually checked, and it was just done.
I hung on because I was really hoping they'd show us where Giorgio landed.
Yeah.
'Cause
I did too. I was
that
looking for that
looked-
post-credit sequence.
Because when he said back before they split, that's before original series. That's way back. That's before Pike. That's way back where she's going to land, right? Because the Mirror Universe split off before all that.
I don't know. I wasn't.
Has
following
this
that.
show been renewed? Do we know
Oh
definitively
yeah,
it's coming
they're
back?
actually renewed it for a 4th and 5th
Because
season.
this felt
Really?
like
It
could
did felt
be a
like
series
okay,
finale.
we may not come back.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, in that, let me take also on a positive note. Look, this happens in a number of things. The very last scene where she's finally in the chair, and she goes, "Let's fly." That's the show I want to see.
Yeah.
That's
If
I
they
wanna
just go
see.
on missions, I would like that.
Took her 3 years to get in
And
the
this is
chair
what they're
and go on a
talking
mission.
about going-
That's what I
Yeah.
want to see.
They're talking about going much more episodic but threaded next season. They talked about this, and this is the plan where there will be elements carried forth between the episodes, but it will be more episodic. So
Let's hope. Because I thought they said that about this season, and it didn't materialize.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm thinking about what they said about the Pike show, which
That's
Again,
what they
that's
said
the
about
show
the
I'm-
Pike show.
that's
yeah.
the show I'm really looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Star Trek. Like I said,
Sorry, I was
It's like
saying
Papa John's this season.
Okay, so quick question. We had 3 Star Trek series this year.
We
Pick
did.
one. Pick
What
your
was the
favorite.
third one? Wait, what was the third one?
They're talking about the
Picard,
cartoon
and then the
which I
animated
still
one.
don't get.
Oh, the animated show.
Never happened before. We have never had 3 Star Trek series in a single year.
I want to pick one episode of Picard where Jerry Ryan was a badass, and maybe one episode of this, and that's it.
God, Todd, you've cut me to the quick here. I would say if I had to go watch another episode of one of those 3 shows tomorrow, it'd be the animated show.
Same here.
I
That
didn't
really,
like it.
I'm surprised.
I still
at that
don't get
answer.
it.
I didn't like Picard enough to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, that's what I'm good. That's what I'm getting at. Is like
Same here.
Yeah. Wow.
Even when
The coolest
Jerry
thing about-
Ryan and the girl in the the Romulan girl fight.
chick. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I liked that stuff, and I would actually wouldn't mind seeing a Jerry Ryan 7 of 9 as a vigilante series. But
Yeah.
the Eddie Van Halen paint scheme on the ship was the coolest thing about Picard to me.
But I'll go back to Brian's theory of Star Trek is that the best new Star Trek is only when it references the old Star Trek, right? And the animated series did that a lot, and it was great.
I gotta say, I've been archering the animated series. I just like randomly will watch an episode, which is what I do at Archer after, because I've seen all of Archer, and I'll just because you can watch any episode at any point once you've seen it all, and it's funny. And I gotta say, I do appreciate that show far more than I ever possibly imagined I would.
And yes, they yell in it, but that's still better than the Discovery whisper acting. Whisper acting tries. The more serious they get, the more quieter they get. I'm really serious. You can tell.
If I was going to go back and rewatch any of Discovery, I would probably rewatch episodes from the first season. I really didn't like the whole.
Oh God, the Klingons.
Red Angel.
Remember how much you
Awful.
hated the Klingons and all that? And
No,
I know,
it's second season. It really is. It's from the time Pike comes on board. It's tolerable.
all that stuff is good. The Pike parts are all good.
And that's what
And then
I'm
it just
holding out
gets
hope for.
like too drawn out. Anyway, all right. Let us know what you think, or don't. I don't care.
If you're still listening.
You know what's interesting? This is completely nothing to do with any of this, really. But the girl who plays the Romulan in Picard, whose name is Todd.
Her name's
Romulan and Picard.
No. The girl who plays the Romulan on Picard, the hot one. Her name is Peyton List.
Oh, you're right, the dead Romulan.
The actress,
Yeah.
Sure.
The girl on Cobra Kai, who's the bad girl who started the fight, is named Peyton List.
Not the same actress.
I was watching the credits of Cobra Kai. I'm like, the Romulan girl's in this series? That is an incredibly unique name, and you choose that to be your name you don't change your name when there's already someone almost your age
Spelt the same way?
spelled the same way. Isn't that weird?
No, that's not
is weird.
possible. You can't do that in the Screen Actors Guild.
If it's your real name, you can, I think.
Yeah. People like Michael J. Fox added a J because there was already a Michael Fox.
Exactly.
But I think you can. I was like, that's crazy. Like, you're starting your career and there's already a girl with the same name as you. You got to change it. I don't know.
That is really odd.
Yeah.
Also, someone who's got major credits too.
Yeah.
She's been a lead of her own series. So,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That was weird.
That is weird.
I'm actually looking up. Yeah, she's got a number 2 after her in the
in IMDb.
in IMDb. Oh, and Barry, she's in one of your favorite movies,
Which one?
27 Dresses.
You know, so here. Wait, it's funny you bring that up. So I've told you that the contractor that we used to do all the remodeling here, that his daughter was in Jersey Girl. She was the girl in Jersey Girl. We were recently watching 27 Dresses. It turns out that my contractor's son is in 27 Dresses. His son's an actor as well, and was as a younger person was in that movie. Crazy.
Is the sequel to that 28 Dresses?
You know, if they made it, I'd watch it.
Oh, God.
Yes, you would.
I have never seen that movie.
Yeah, I can't recommend it as a good watch, but for some reason it's a guilty pleasure. What can I say?
Speaking of guilty pleasures, Barry, what's in the box?
Show you the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Okay. I've got something that I want to show, and on the remote chance that one of you bought this for me as a Christmas gift, I apologize, but I did buy myself something after Christmas.
You bought yourself a ton of stuff after Christmas.
I really didn't. I don't expect anybody bought me this. It was something I had asked my wife for, and somehow she completely forgot that I said I wanted it. So I got myself Mandalorian Monopoly. Neither of you bought me this, right?
It's not called Mandalopoly. It's got to be called Mandalopoly.
It's Star Wars The Mandalorian Monopoly.
Oh my god!
And when you
So
take
you
it out
can
of the
fight over who's going to be the Razor Crest, right? That's
you
the
take
you
it
know.
out of the box.
I'm wondering how much Beskar you get for
You got the blue guy in carbonite as the cover of the
that's
lid.
funny.
And then you've got all the pieces and everything. You've got little baby Yoda. Unfortunately, there is no Razor Crest as a piece.
What's the money look like?
I'll get that out in a second. You've got like a red Stormtrooper, and they're metal, which is cool. I thought it was going to be plastic. You've got your Grogu.
So Grogu's who everyone's going to want to be. Yeah.
It's all about season 1, but let's see. I haven't taken the things apart yet, but the money is little ingots of Beskar. The reason I bought this is because it came with.
Of course, I knew it.
An action
A
figure.
Remnant Trooper vintage figure, and it's a vintage Stormtrooper mold. I don't know if you can see, but he's all dirty.
I like how the package looks beat to shit too.
Yeah, they did the package like it's all beat up, but it's a Mandalorian Stormtrooper, and it was only included if you bought it from Disney or Hasbro directly. If you buy this in any other store, it doesn't come with a figure.
That would make sense.
That makes sense.
That's why I wanted this, and after I ordered it, after I found out I didn't get it for Christmas, I'm like, oh God, I hope nobody on the show bought it for me. This would be unfortunate. And then as a twofer, I also got the Mandalorian vintage figure from Amazon, which is the Beskar version.
Oh, nice.
I haven't been buying 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures at all, but I kind of wanted him. So
you're going to have him in 3 3/4 inch, 6 inch, and 1/6.
I didn't buy the 6 inch.
He doesn't have the Black Series.
Oh, you don't?
No,
okay.
I didn't. So I'm going to have him in 3 3/4, and I'm going to have him in 12 inch.
Okay, that's fair.
So, yeah. So that's what I've got in the box. Let's see. Let's go to Todd next.
Okay. So this was something that I bought from who I refer to as my guy in Hong Kong, KG Hobby, which is a kind of neat place to buy stuff that's
Tiger Tanaka.
that's
No, that
not
wasn't
available in
that's
the
a good
U.S.
pull.
And I saw this a while ago, and I wanted it. I just knew I wanted it, and this is not displayed quite the way that it came, but this is a 1/6 scale human skeleton. I put the sword in his hand. The sword is from a Xena figure, but there's an obvious reason why I put the sword in hand because I really wanted that look to it.
The Harryhausen look, yeah.
Jason the Argonauts
Is really, really nicely made. This is die cast.
Oh,
Okay.
The sword or the
The
skeleton?
entire thing
The
is
skeleton.
the figure is die cast. I am absolutely terrified that this is going to fall over and shatter. This is incredibly, incredibly brittle. I'm very, very careful when I move it. But it's super well made. It's awesomely painted. They did great, really nice detail on it. It's kind of hard to see here, but I'll give you some good pictures of it.
It is very Harryhausen looking. It really
Oh,
is.
it is. Oh,
Why
when
would
I
they
saw the
make it
first
out of
pictures
metal?
of it,
That doesn't even
I
make
was
any
like-
sense.
I was like, I totally need to do this. And
Now, have you started working on the shield for me to
What's
paint
that?
yet?
I'm going to 3D print the shield and Barry's going to paint it. And I started doing the design in Tinkercad, but he basically comes with like
Is that a
6
brain?
different hands and a brain. And the cranium comes off. But
I think I want one, especially if you're going to make shields that I'm going to
Oh
paint.
my
I
God.
think
Yeah,
I
I'll
want
totally
one.
make shield for you. And, again, it wasn't super cheap but it's very cool.
It's very cool.
I think
And-
someone else
and,
made those 1/6 scale skeletons. They probably weren't that great, though, right?
These
I
look really
bought
good.
2 different plastic 1/6 scale skeletons, and they never quite look as good as the picture. And that's when I saw this thing was die cast. Is like, well, it's not going to warp, it's not going to be misshapen, and it holds a pose really, really well. And he's got a good look to him, but like I said, it's super, super fragile. I think I'm going to make. I'm probably going to have a fishing line supporting him in the case, just for fear that at some point he's going to fall over. The hands are plastic, but everything else, and the interchangeable hands are plastic. Everything else is die cast.
Over the summer, I had gone on a Harryhausen tear, not just watching his movies, but
God,
also there was a documentary.
Yeah.
And I went then on a search to try to find those skeletons, and they make them in like 1/8 scale.
Yep.
As officially licensed Jason the Argonauts.
Oh,
Okay.
and they're like
and
100.
There is a
$100
1/6 scale
That's
one
a
out there
lot.
that's a knockoff, but people have advised against it, and so
Yeah, the 1/8 scale ones or whatever the 1/10 scale ones, they look good, but I really would like one in that scale. So I'm gonna have to look into picking up one of those skeletons. And I've been looking at some other things on that website that because you sent it to me, because I think I sent you guys. They're making an unlicensed Starship Troopers. Actually, there's two versions of it.
Yep.
There's the basic one and there's a deluxe one, and it looks really good. So I might have to get that.
I will say I have, it's always a little iffy buying something from a company in Hong Kong and putting a pre-order on something that's a long time out. I probably bought 8 or 10 items from him. They always show up. They always respond within a couple hours to emails. They're really, really good. They send me like apologies when all the factories shut down due to COVID, but I've gotten a number of things from them that aren't viable in the United States, and they've been good. They've
really got a pretty sophisticated system, because I put it in my cart and didn't pull the trigger, and they've been emailing me every couple of days. Yeah. Hey, you didn't finish your order.
No, they got it down, and it's it's good. It's also good. It's good that because it's in Hong Kong, it's my heads up on when Hot Toys figures are actually hitting the mark in the US, because I'll see them pop up there just a little sooner, and it's not as cost effective. It's not cost effective buying them there because of the shipping and stuff. But when they show up there, I know they're in the pipeline. So, yeah. Okay, Dave, what do you got?
I have a Hot Toys figure. It's my chance to have one that you guys have not bought, and it's Qui-Gon.
Oh, sweet.
This is the one that took forever in the mail. Thank you, USPS. It took 3 weeks to get here from
Connecticut,
55 minutes away, which is crazy. But I just opened them tonight, and this, of course, the head sculpt is great. You got to get another one of these heads to make a Taken action figure.
Now that looks like it's plastic hair, right? It's not.
Yeah, it is plastic hair. It's a little like it sits up a little. So, but I think without the cloak on, it won't look as good because it looks like it's sort of floating. But other than that, but again, the cloak is this super thin, like microfiber suede that they did with Obi-Wan, obviously, but it looks good. I still have my Sideshow Qui-Gon. As these are coming out in Hot Toys, I've been selling them off the Sideshow ones. So his boots are nice. They're like this leathery.
They do a great job on all the boots on the Star Wars figures. Yeah. It's funny. I see that in a lot of the Hot Toys groups when people talk about other lines. They're always like, yeah, they do such a good job in the Star Wars boots. Why can't they replicate that same quality in Marvel boots or in other boots? But yeah, they really... Yeah. They seem to go the extra mile on the Star Wars ones.
Yeah, and it comes with obviously it's not standing. A bunch of hands, even all the little holograms. There's the Yoda here. There's Mace Windu. Cool. There's the star. All the things that are on that little weird communicator thing he had.
Yep.
Hands. Comes with the light up arm with the other sabers. Comes with the poncho that he's wearing when I guess he goes into town on Tatooine the first time. So it comes with not that I'm using any of that stuff, but he'll go next to Obi-Wan. So I'm glad I now have the Maul, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon.
That's great.
Waiting on Jar Jar. So we'll see.
I'm actually surprised they haven't made one. I think they will eventually.
Yeah. So
Dave, the other Hot Toys figure you have coming, still no?
I got that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
we can do that together next week.
Yeah, I'm debating if I'm keeping that.
Really?
Because I don't have the other two.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have Drax?
What's that? Yeah.
Do you have Drax?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you wait long enough, they'll reissue them. They just released this week, or just yesterday, 2 new Shore Troopers. The Shore Trooper from Rogue One has been one of their hottest selling, highest value figures on the secondary market.
Really?
Because they didn't release a ton of them, and it's a cool figure.
Who just released the short
Hot Toys. They've now
Toys.
got one coming out from Rogue One and one coming out from Mandalorian. So there's 2 versions of it coming out that are both different from the one that came out originally.
Oh,
so
jeez.
the deco is different and the whatever, but yeah, they just did that with some Iron Man figures too. Like they're good at recognizing which figures are super hot and eventually
They
trying to
did
get
two
new
Iron
versions
Man
of them
figures that were selling for like 2 to 3 times original retail on a bunch of different sites and eBay, and they re-released them, and they actually re-released them and added like something to them. So
Yeah, the original Mandalorian Rogue One Short Trooper was going for about $700 on
That's
eBay.
crazy.
Yeah,
And now they've got 2 new ones out. So
my buddy who started down the slippery slope, I was talking to you guys about, looking for a display case for 3 figures, right? He's up to like 6 or 7 now.
I told you.
And
Yeah.
the short trooper is when he's kicking himself for not getting, so he'll be very happy to hear
Yeah,
that
they
coming
just
back again.
literally just announced it yesterday. It'll be on all the sites for pre-order. Definitely,
Great.
I'm sure Fanboy Collectibles will have it.
It's funny.
So Brian refers to this buddy of his. Is this like my friend has a problem, and like, you know, he's wondering what the doctor would do in a case of, you know, yeah.
No, this is
If you took 4 Viagras, I'm asking for a friend.
I'm asking for a friend. It's funny because I just went to the site that Tom was talking about, KG Hobbies, and they've got that Metropolis that Barry was talking about on it.
Yep.
For pre-order Q3 2021.
Yep.
So Brian, what is in the box?
What is in the box? I went space themed. First, Dave showed one of these on one of his what's in the boxes, and it went on sale during Christmas. So
I heard that. Yeah,
I jumped on it and got for the folks out there. It's an Apollo flashlight. So it's
from what, Lunar Replicas, right?
Lunar, yeah. And then the other thing I got, I'm gonna see if you guys can recognize this if I get close enough.
I have planned to buy those, and I just haven't done it. The switches from the
Berry. Do you know what this is?
Apollo switches.
Is that from the
capsule?
Sure, that's from the. Is that from the LEM, or is that from the?
No, it's from the Apollo 12, from the Earth to the Moon. It's SCE is switched to AUX.
Okay.
And all the Apollo fans know what SCE to AUX means now. The company makes these and the real switches. So I plan on hooking them up to something.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I keep on. I had them in my thing to buy, and I haven't pulled the trigger. But they make them like you can get the 3, you can get 1,
2, 1. Yeah.
What's the name of the company? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I gotta have to go look them up myself.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what's right here on the back? Concorde Aerospace.
Yes. Yeah. Those are cool.
That looks really cool.
Yeah.
And they're not ridiculously expensive. They're pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Less than $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is very cool.
Yeah, those are cool. I have to pull the trigger on those.
Yeah. So that's what I had in the box.
Cool. So, any last thoughts or anything? I don't think anyone's died that we know of, has they?
just
last thoughts,
just
really
nearly democracy, but other than that,
yeah. Other than that, no big deal.
Yeah, let's not go there. We'll be on for another hour.
Exactly. Well, Brian, thank you for joining as always.
It's great to be here.
Oh, next week probably WandaVision. I guess we'll talk about.
Yeah, and we did talk about possibly doing a virtual gift exchange. So maybe we'll talk about that after the show. Yeah. We got to get on that because see, Todd, why is Barry saying that? Because he's got a list of things he wants to buy.
Yeah.
No, because I've got some cool things here I want to give you guys, and I don't want you to end up buying them yourselves.
Okay, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out after the show.
Is one of them a Luke Skywalker helmet? Is that one of the things you're giving?
No,
no.
But I'm staring. I've got some of these things are projects of mine that I would love to finally be able to talk about.
All right.
Okay, we'll figure all that out for next week. I guess someone's texting me. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.